alumni and Western Texas College runner Jasmine Rangel. Jasmine, thank you for coming on the show. And how are you doing this afternoon?
No problem. I'm doing good. Just dealing with the quarantine and the effects of my surgery.
Awesome. Well, how's first of all, let's start with the quarantine. Just how you been? It's been up and down for everybody. I know athletes. It's hard to stay in shape, but there's a lot of red tape. Where you can do what you can do, where you can go. Just how you as a runner uh, been dealing with that.
It's changing I guess, the environment where I run. Since all the parks are closed, I just run down the roads or in my yard.
Okay. Um, yeah, you say you talked about a procedure that you had. How did that go? How you feeling?
It went good. It was painful at first, but it went away and the swelling went down and my vision's slowly starting to come out with the new cornea that they put in me.
Hey, awesome. Is that something you dealt with for a while? I know things like that can kind of hinder performance. It was my understanding it was something you dealt with in high school. But you had a great high school career. But just how are you? How was it like dealing with something like that?
Actually, this happened. So it took over my first year of college.
Oh, okay.
So it was very difficult for me because all I could see was anything on the right. I couldn't really see anything on the left side of me. So it made it difficult to run sometimes.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what exactly was the issue with your eye?
Um, they said I had gotten a cancer amoeba from dirty water that, and the only place I got went in water was a local water park, and
Okay.
they said that's where I got it from.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're doing better. I know it's pretty rough as a runner. I know you just had a cross country season, your first cross country season, correct? With Texas College, and
Yeah.
I know you guys did pretty well. I know you finished in the top 25
Hmm.
in one of y'all's final meets. So, that's congratulations to you. But yeah, let's talk about that. How's things going over there at Texas College?
Um, it's going pretty good. The training starting to get even tougher, but it's getting better, and I feel very confident for this upcoming season with my new eye, I guess.
Yeah, and you mean you've been making some headway over there. I understand you made the dean's list for both semesters this past year. You're a scholar All American for cross country, and you're also majoring in business. So kind of a full plate is going on over there with you. I mean, first of all, how did the year start with you? Kind of transitioning to college. Coming out of Rio Hondo, just transitioning everything. Just how was it like for you? And when did you just start to find your groove?
Uh, it wasn't very difficult. Small town. It reminded me of our small town here. So it wasn't a big change. Some of the classes were difficult, but I braced myself and I was ready to take on the academic school year.
Hmm. Yeah, and Dean's List, nothing to sneeze at. It's pretty hard to do. So it's definitely want to just congratulate you on that accomplishment there. Um, but to be recognized in cross country, and just how's the competition been? How did your first season go overall?
It was harder than I thought. It was a big leap from high school to college, but I tried my best and I'm hoping to do better. No, now that I know all the competition that's out there.
Yeah. What was the biggest what would you say was the biggest obstacle that you probably had to overcome in that transition? What kind of opened your eyes to be like, wow, this is a different kind of beast?
Um, I had to say at on my first when we finished our regional qualifying meet for cross country or a nationals qualifying meet because they went all out like it was their last race ever. It was the fastest race anyone could have ran against.
Wow. So as far as high school, college, do you remember what your best time in high school was, and have you have you continued to build on that in college and surpass it? I know most athletes do just that whenever they get into the college level, but how is that like for you as far as times?
For cross country, I was at a 1930 for the 3 mile, but for college, it went a little slower with all the hills in the west side of Texas.
And so there's a lot more terrain stuff.
Yes.
Did did you expect that? Did you expect for the courses to be so different? I mean, did you expect you were gonna have to kind of transition and adjust to those terrains over there in West Texas?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad it's going pretty well. I know you're also running track. I assume you're a distance runner there also.
Yes.
Did you Did you get to kind of get into the season a little bit before the pandemic? I mean, did you begin training? Did the season start? I don't know how early.
We finished with indoor track, but we didn't get to start outdoor track.
Okay, what did you run in the indoor track?
Indoor, I tried the 800 and the 1600 and also the 3000.
Okay, so did you ever was indoor track something? Well, was it much different? I know there's no indoor track here in the valley, but was that something you had to adjust to, or does it kind of run the same? I mean, what's the conditions really like for maybe for those who never had the opportunity to run the indoor track?
It was a very different terrain because when you're running the curves, you're slightly slanting because it's going upwards, and it's very different because it's twice as much laps when you think about it indoor because it's only half of the amount of distance.
Oh, so that's just not like a thing on TV. So when you're actually there in the indoor track, like there's kind of like a bowl like dip.
Yes.
That's strange. I never really understood that. I've seen when they would come out over the curves, but I never thought that there was actually that much of a drastic dip that you would be able to notice as a runner. I mean,
because that's why you got to be careful on the indoor not to get forced in there, because if not, you'll just like start sliding down and it'll hurt if you fall for sure.
So how steep is it, would you say? I mean, just from just eyeballing it.
Depending what lane you're in, the higher you go, the steeper it is.
Okay.
But it's all right.
Yeah. Well. So how did you finish in those events that you ran? What was your best times? What was your best event?
I would say probably the mile was probably the best event I had. And it was it's like a 5:40, 5:30, high 30, low 40 time.
Okay. Well, awesome. So were you starting to train for the outdoor season? Were you more excited for that? Because was it more familiar? I mean, just how did the spring semester go right before March? I mean, just what was your mentality going into the outdoor track season?
I was ready for the outdoor season. I was excited. Because we were gonna run the 3.2 mile on the track, but we didn't get the chance to do it. So I was kind of upset about that.
Yeah, and I assume transitioning to online courses and stuff, that had to have been another curveball for you. I mean, just how was that? I mean, how do you? I know some people have had different reactions to it. Just how did you kind of attack it? Do you prefer it? I mean, that's been one of the kind of the hot topic kind of things. How students are adapting to this distance learning. I mean, does it help you? I mean, is it something you don't like about it? I mean, just how is it treating you?
I prefer to go inside the classroom. I do not like online classes because how am I supposed to be able to understand it if the teacher's not actually explaining it in front of me?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the gripes that most students have. So I mean, but also we've seen some students that are actually it benefits them. I guess it's really all your type of style as a student. But but yeah, I mean, as much as we're talking about all your success in college. Let's backtrack a little bit to high school back at Rio Hondo. I mean, to let her in anything, I always thought was impressive. But you were a four-time varsity track, soccer, basketball, cross country. Um, just I mean, talk about that coming in and having that kind of success. I mean, being varsity letter in all those sports for 4 years. I mean, had to have been something that was enjoyable and quite an experience.
I thought it was exciting being in varsity. When I first entered freshman year, I didn't think I was going to be on varsity for basketball or soccer, but it happened because I wasn't confident in those sports. But uh, knowing that I was in varsity all 4 years for all my sports, I was proud, I could say, of being able to compete and working with a whole bunch of different coaches.
Well, what was it about not being confident about cross country and soccer and basketball? I mean, you're a distance runner. I would assume that would be right up your alley. It takes a lot of endurance. I think that's was that one of the reasons maybe the coaches kind of like what you brought to the table.
For soccer, I had never played in my life
Okay.
until my freshman year, so I didn't really think I was gonna make it. And for basketball, I've played for a really long time, but when we were in 8th grade and we were being watched by the varsity coach, there was a lot of competition on the one incoming freshman he would choose, and I didn't think it was gonna be me because I thought there were other players better than me.
Oh wow. So what made you take up soccer? You never played it until freshman year. It kind of just seems well, picking it up in high school, especially a sport like soccer, it would seem I don't know. I don't think that would be one of many people's first options to, just break into soccer as a freshman. What made you want to do it?
I don't know. I just thought it'll be another chance to do more running, get more running in, and build up my endurance and help with my sprinting.
And just how is that picking up the game? I mean, it looks like a difficult sport to pick up. I mean, I've never played myself, but I mean, it looks like a lot of endurance. It looks like you would need a lot of balance and just a lot of good footwork. I mean, is that things you worked on? I mean, just how is that process learning the game? But having to be thrown into the fire of varsity, you know, right away.
The coach is very helpful, so she helped me learn all the techniques and like get a handle on the game because I really at first I did not know what I was doing, but slowly after practicing a lot and a lot of footwork, I was able to bring bring something to the team.
All right. Well, I mean, that's certainly pretty impressive. Let's move on to to basketball. You're confident, but coming in, I mean, once you got that spot, I mean, just what went through your mind? You were that chosen freshman. You came in to the team. Just what was that like for you?
Mm, it was pretty, I guess. I was very hesitant at first because they're older, they know what they're doing, and they're a really good team. So I just thought to myself that I had to prove the reason why I was left on varsity.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, but where I guess you had the most success was in cross country. You're a four-time regional qualifier, three-time state qualifier. Just first of all, just give me your background in running. I mean, have you always been a runner? I mean, just when did you kind of pick it up for sport?
I've been running since I've last because my brothers are runners, my mother's a runner, all my families were runners. So I guess it just automatically just came onto me, and that's just something I enjoyed doing all my life.
Were were they all 4-year letter winners or letter winners at any point in their lives? I mean, were they all pretty successful like you were?
Yeah, they were all 4 years, and my mother ran for St. Edward's University,
Oh wow!
so she did pretty good.
All right, so yeah, a rich running tradition in your family. So yeah, going to regionals in Corpus for 4 years. I mean, just what was that like? I know they run in the soccer stadium, don't they? In those grounds usually
Hmm.
at Corpus Christi, Ain and Corpus Christi. So
Yes.
what's that terrain like? I know I've heard mixed reviews about it. I know some runners like it once they get used to it. You know, some runners it kind of takes them by surprise. But what was that? What was the terrain like for you? What was running races like all 4 years? I mean, did you gradually learn the course, or
Mm, my first year, I didn't do so good, but I still made it in the top. I think I got I don't know what I got. It's something, but the terrain was actually really good. I felt like it made the race faster. Like even with the weather changes, because some year it was muddy because of the rain. Sometimes it was dry. It just all depended.
yeah? What was the biggest difference between your first year and the second year? I mean, obviously you have more experience, but coming into regional, it's not an easy race to come in and then move on for. So the next 3 years, obviously you went on to state. Just what changed for you, and how did you find yourself gradually continuing to get better from year to year?
Um, from freshman year to sophomore year, I guess I just lacked, confidence in myself and going farther, believing that I could. And the next years, I just kept picking up my training and adding more.
Okay, well, so so you made state. What was your highest finish at state, and just yeah, just what was your highest finish? What was your best time? Just what year would
Uh,
you?
my highest my highest finish was my junior year with 15th place. I
Okay,
had a 12:02 at that time.
I say your junior year. So did you take a drop your senior year? I mean, was it just a better field? I mean, do you remember what do you remember about your senior year race coming in?
Uh, Senior year, the I had hesitated a bit on that race, knowing that it was my last one. It wasn't really a race I wanted to end with. It was, I don't know what happened on that one. Like I went down a few seconds than what I'm used to.
Okay, okay. So I mean, summertime here coming. You're hoping to go into this next fall semester. We're all hoping that things clear up. We can get sports. But how are you doing right now and preparation? I know you're coming off a procedure, but as far as preparations going, just what are your expectations coming into this fall semester?
Uh, I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that we have cross country season, and I'm really hoping they don't bring our classes to online, because then I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, there's a lot of. It seems like there's a lot of stuff in the air, especially whenever you're going to a college out of town and you need to be there for cross country. So then you got to find arrangements. So it's a very trying time, but I certainly hope you guys get going because I'm really excited to see what you guys do here coming in the fall. But just watching how this is unfolded. I mean, I'm sure you have ex teammates at Rio Hondo, maybe some that didn't get to have their senior season. I mean, what's your reaction to all those athletes and I mean, the college athletes included to get seasons cut short. Maybe some of your friends back home to not get their full senior season. I mean, just how is that? How is that like? When it's all coming at you.
For my friends that were seniors, it was very, I guess, sad to see because they didn't get to show what they can do for their track season or their playoff soccer season or anything that was supposed to happen because they didn't get approved. They didn't get the chance to due to the outbreak.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Tell me about the degree you're pursuing, business and accounting. And I mean, talk a little bit about your academics here. What's that? You're doing well, but why that field for you? What made you? What kind of drew you to it? What intrigues you about it?
Well, my uncle is an accountant and his daughter is also. And since I like to work with numbers a lot, I thought it was a good career choice for me because it just makes me feel comfortable. And I like to work with like business. I feel like business would help me and help me be able to understand the business world more.
For sure. So you're a numbers person. I know I really respect those numbers people. I took a different approach. I'm a writer. I always tell myself that I can't do math to save my life. But have you always been a numbers person? Are you one of those that really enjoys having fun with whatever formulas they give you? I mean, you have a solid math background. Is that something that always intrigued you?
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, personally, just for you, what are your expectations as an athlete? I know you had that first year. I know you had a pretty solid cross country season. I mean, just what do you want? What are your goals going forward? What do you want to? How do you want to build off your first year?
I want to improve because personally, I did okay year, but now that I'm a sophomore, I think I might have to make myself into a better athlete because I need to prove that even though I had an eye problem first year, that without it I can be even better with it.
Awesome. Well, I'm certainly wishing you luck. I hope, like everybody, I hope we're able to get sports back soon towards the end of September, and I hope everybody can go out there and continue to do what they do because I think sports makes the world go round, and I'm certainly rooting for any of these Valley athletes, including yourself, to go out there and do well. So congratulations on all your early success that you had, and just go out there and keep on trucking, and most of all, stay safe. But yeah, I guess it's gonna do it here for us. Jasmine, I really want to thank you for coming on, giving us your time here this afternoon.
No problem.
Well, I hope, like I said, again, good luck from all of us here at Real Sports Life. I hope you're safe. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jasmine Rangel, Rio Hondo alumnus, runner. She's doing good things out there in college. So, and I just want to say thank you all for joining us here for the 1 p.m. show. We have 2 more shows on the horizon. Kevin Naro is going to be taking the reins here. Former McAllen Memorial Lady Mustang and current Texas A&M CC softball player Daisy Gonzalez, and then Mission Veterans coach David Gilpin, and Harlingen High's Manny Gomez, and Rio Hondo's Rocky James are going to be on for the 5 o'clock show. So keep it here for the Sideline Sit Down with Real Sports Live. Once again, Jasmine, thank you for coming on. Stay safe out there. And that's going to do it. Follow us on all our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us on YouTube, the Roku Network, and Apple TV. So everybody stay safe. Thanks for watching, and keep it here. And have a good day.
Thank you. You too.